Good morning, fourth graders. I have a special guest with me today. This is Miss Abby. She's a little sleepy and a little shy. She just got her hair cut, so she's probably gonna go to sleep on us here, but she's gonna be our special guest in Bible today. I hope you're all ready to go for our first Bible back from our Easter break. You'll need your pencil and your Bible textbook. Today we're talking about responsibility that God has given us to, He's given to all Christians to obey God in a way to bring Him honor and glory by the way that we handle our possessions. That's right. So, the things that we love, the things that we hold dear to us, we all have different things in our lives that God has entrusted us to. So, how we handle those things is called stewardship, and how we manage them and how we care for them and how we take care of our property, whether it be an animal like this one here that's resting out of view, or whether it be our favorite stuffed animal, our books, or our technology. The way that we care for our property is called stewardship. And God has called us to be a steward. If you would, go ahead and open up your Bible this morning to Psalms chapter 24, verse number 1. And let's see what God has for us this morning. This verse tells us that God owns everything. It says in this verse, once again, that's Psalm 24, verse number 1. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness there, and all its fullness, the world and those who dwell therein. Well, Miss Abby sure does dwell on the earth. I do, and you do too, and all of your possessions. That means that even though I might be the owner of Abby, I technically am not. God owns her because God made her, and she's in the earth. So I need to take care of Miss Abby to the best of my ability. And when I do that, I'm being a good steward. A steward is someone who takes care or manages someone else's property. Now, God has called us to be a steward. Take your Bible and open to Genesis chapter 1, verse number 28. Genesis 1:28. In Genesis chapter 1, verse number 28, it says, Then God blessed them, and God said to them, Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing, that's you, Abby, that moves on the earth. Now, God didn't give ownership to Adam and Eve and to us of the things in the earth, but God did give us dominion. That means He wants us to manage it. These things are not ours, but they belong to God. And God entrusted Adam and Eve with all the things of the earth. And we're descendants of Adam and Eve. So that means God has entrusted us with the things in the earth as well. Now, when we have items like this little girl, or like your favorite things that you love, that comes with a lot of responsibility to take care of them and to manage them well. Imagine with me that I was going on a trip and I decided to leave Miss Abby with someone. What kind of person would I want to leave Miss Abby to? With someone who was responsible and someone who I know was going to take care of her and play with her and feed her, or someone who might forget. Oh my goodness, how awful would that be? I would want someone who would love her like I love her, who would take care of her, who would take her outside to get some fresh air and just enjoy her just like I do. All right, so when you think of your possessions that you have, how do you take care of them? How does your room look? Is it a hot mess and things are everywhere? Remember, those things are not actually your things. Those things belong to God, and God has placed you in charge of taking care of them for Him. Let's take a look at our textbook this morning. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, now you can see what I can see. Go ahead, if you haven't already, and open up your book to page 109 for today as we continue our study about stewardship. Number 1, To confidently give the care of something to another person. What is this called? This is called be entrust. So in our story, I would entrust someone to take care of Abby for me. Number two, things that are owned, like Miss Abby here. I own her, so she is my what? She is my possession. She is my possession. The management and the care of someone else's property is called C, stewardship. I need to be a good steward in how I manage and take care of Abby, even though she's technically not mine, she's God's. An honor and a blessing. This is E. It's my privilege to take care of Abby. It's an honor, it's a blessing. Someone who manages and cares for someone else's property is called a steward. That's right. And I hope to be a good steward to my Abby here. Number 6, the Bible teaches that God owns what? God owns everything, not just some things. Even though you might put your name on it, and we say, oh yeah, that's mine, or that's his. God actually owns everything. How are we taking care of those things? Number 7, God expects Christians to be how with his possessions? Responsible. We need to take care of the things. We need to be responsible. Oh no, oh no. Number 8, people should not carelessly what? We shouldn't carelessly waste the things that God has given them. Number 9, she sees somebody outside. She's wanting to be a good protector. Number 9, God expects people to be good managers of those things. They build from things found in his creation. And number 10, God's possessions include all treasures of creation and includes people's time and their talents. Oh boy, what do you see out there, huh? What do you see? Okay. All right, well, thank you for joining us today for our first Bible lesson, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye-bye. Can you shake?